What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Pauly B TV. Got 2 new subscribers just this morning. So today is going to be a story going back to when I was 15. So this was 2011. This was in Racine, Wisconsin. And I was going to arcade driver school at the time. So I'm sitting there. I'm a sophomore in high school. I'm sitting there. It's like a Saturday. I'm just chilling at my computer with my dad. We're sitting at the office, just hanging out, just being, one of those lazy Saturdays. I get a call on my cell phone, and I answer it, and it's my driving instructor, Mr. Haig. And he goes, "Hey, is this Paul?" Yeah. Yeah, we're sitting here at Walgreens in Racine. We're ready for your driving lesson. We got 2 other people sitting here. We're ready to go. And I completely forgot about this driving lesson. So I look at my mom and dad, and I'm like, I got to be somewhere right now, and I have not taken a shower. And then my dad's like, just get your clothes on. You got to go. You don't have time. You don't need it. So I say, well, I do need it because, I was a 15-year-old kid at the time, and that you sweat a lot at that age, and I knew I needed it, but I didn't have the time. So I get my clothes on, probably dirty clothes, whatever. I get in the car. My mom drives me to Walgreens in Racine. So I get out of the car, and I'm like 20 minutes late. So I apologize to the driving instructor. He was, at first I thought he was a pretty cool guy, I remember he had a shrunken arm. His right arm was like shrunken. It was like a birth defect. And I remember he had to drive like a really unique way because his arm was like mangled. But he was a driving instructor. So I get in the car, and it's like one of my first lessons. At this point in my life, I was not good at driving. I was not comfortable behind the wheel. I was scared. It was not something I was happy to be doing. And I'm not comfortable because I hadn't even had an opportunity to get ready. I hadn't even got ready. So I'm driving, and I'm doing really bad. And the Mr. Haig saying, "All right, man, you got to slow down. You got to pay attention to the other cars around you, and you have to stay in your lane." I'm doing everything wrong. I'm forgetting to turn my signal on. And I start to notice in the back of the car there are 2 girls sitting there. And they're starting to get upset. So they start sneaking in little comments about my driving, about how they're not exactly comfortable. They start doing wisecracks. So this makes me uncomfortable. I'm 15. There's 2 girls. They were attractive, by the way. I was an overweight 15-year-old kid who didn't have any friends. And there's 2 attractive high school girls in the back making fun of me, saying they hate my driving and they don't want to be in the car with me. And we get to this turn. It's somewhere by downtown Racine. I think it's by that one disc plant, that factory or whatever. So I'm at the turn light, and it turns green, and I'm like, okay. I'm looking at the lane where I'm supposed to be going, and I'm looking at the oncoming traffic lane, and I don't know which one is which. I don't know which one I'm supposed to go to, so I asked the teacher, and he points. Well, I'm not sitting on that side of the car, so the pointing thing in the same direction for 2 things right next to each other aren't exactly helping. And I think he did say which lane it was, but I didn't know. So I start driving into oncoming traffic. I pull out of the turning, whatever, and I drive, and I go right into oncoming traffic, and I see a car in front of me. And the girls they're coming towards me, and the girls in the back start screaming, and the driving instructor starts kind of freaking out and starts pumping on the brakes because he had brakes on his side for those driver ed cars, and he's like, "Go to the other right, go to the right." So I swerve over to the right, and I get in the right lane, and it was just a nightmare. The girls screamed in the back. They're really uncomfortable. It was, I hadn't taken a shower. I'm sure I smelled terrible. I'm just this big, dumb, fat kid behind the wheel. No idea what I'm doing. Scared out of my mind. So, whatever. I keep going. That was the only near accident that day. So finally, the driving instructor is like, all right, we got to go pick up this other kid, and he's going to drive. And I'm like, okay, well, where does he live? You know, just show me where. So I'm driving to this kid's house. And at this point, oh no, we already had picked up another person. So there was 3 people in the back. There was me driving, and there was the driving instructor in a 2000 Chevrolet Malibu. That's the kind of car Dieter used to have. The thumbnail of this video is the exact car that I drove. I found it on the website of Arcade in Racine. So everything being told is in this exact car in the thumbnail. So I noticed that the car is completely full and we're going to pick somebody up. And I'm driving. So guess who's got to get out? So I'm thinking, I don't know what I'm going to do, but there's got to be some sort of way the driving instructor would have thought of this. There's no way. There's got to be something. I pull up to the kid's house. I get out of the car. The other kid gets in the driver's seat, and we're looking around. There's no room for me. So I asked the driving instructor, Mr. Haig, where am I going to sit? And he goes, oh, man, that's right. You know what, buddy? I think you're just going to have to squeeze in the back there. Okay, first of all, that's illegal. Okay? And he's a driving instructor. And second of all, there's 3 attractive high school girls back there that have all been making fun of me the entire drive and saying they do not want to be in the car with me. They have verbally said it out loud. They do not want to be in the car with me. And the driving instructor had to tell them to stop yapping. So now these girls who I'm already extremely embarrassed in front of, I have to cram in there. I'm overweight. So I have to cram between these 3 women in the back seat. Whatever. I'm not going to walk home. I don't know my way home. I'm 15. I didn't even know I was supposed to do this today. So I do it. I cram in the back with the 3 girls, and I couldn't even get my seatbelt on, and the girls looked miserable. And I was miserable too. The kid drives us back to Walgreens. I get out of the car, and I'm not going to lie, this is the most painful part of the story to tell. I get out of the car. I see my dad sitting there in a parking lot in his big truck. I walk over to my dad's truck. I get in, close the door, and we start driving. He starts asking me, how was it? And I said, man, it was terrible. I messed up, and these girls were freaking out at me. And in the middle of me talking, my dad stops me. And he goes, whoa, you have horrible breath. And I said, what? And he goes, has your breath smelled like that all day? I said, I guess. I brushed my teeth before I left the house. And he goes, did you not take a breath pill before we left the house? I said, no. And he goes, oh, man. And that's when it hit me and I remembered. My mom had ordered pizza last night from DiGiorno's or whatever in Racine. And she got extra fresh shaved garlic on top of the pizza. And the pizza was a margarita pizza, I think. So it was already a garlic pizza with extra garlic shaved on top of it. And I ate probably half the pizza. And I don't know. I didn't know at the time. So I get up, brush my teeth like nothing happened, like light brushing. Don't shower. So now I know on the drive back that for the past 2 hours, I've been sitting in this car driving like a maniac, having bad body odor, and my breath reeks of garlic in a small, compact, tight car. And I had to cram in the back with the 3 girls with the massive garlic breath and body odor. It's insulting. I guarantee you everybody in the car remembers that. Every single person in the car that day still remembers that day, no matter what. Absolute nightmare. The lesson here is take care of your hygiene. When you eat a triple margarita garlic pizza, take 3 breath pills, brush your teeth for 10 minutes, and do mouthwash 6 times. Okay? this is the kind of stuff we gotta learn growing up, you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll have another one coming soon. That's about it. Peace.